I'm just gonna speak for myself. I understand you on a deeper level in one dinner than I understood you last year.
Oh. That's not true. You didn't understand me because you had my friend up.
Oh.
And I was ready to kick your ass if we're gonna keep it gangster. I have the biggest anxiety. It's back on Google. Anytime anyone Googles me, that comes back up. I'm legit traumatized from it.
What's up, y'all? It's Brian Keith, and I'm back with another video. Today, we're going to be talking about Summer House Martha's Vineyard Season 2, Episode 4. And yet again, this has been such a enjoyable season so far. I'm definitely loving how the storylines are developing, how everything seems so organic, as Nene would say. But y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let's get into the video.
Yeah, let me check my shit real quick. Hotter than the fire coming out my flaming lips. You wanna play with me? You can't play in me. On the playground, bitch, you can't play with me. Got it, won it, securing the bag.
Alright, so the episode basically starts off where we left off last episode, where we see Summer barging into the house. She's mad at Jordan. They're over here going back and forth. She's like, she's so fake. I can't believe she did this to me. How could Jordan do this?
Who's that? Summer? Oh, the up for her every single moment.
She never lets me do this. She was going off talking about Jordan's rude, Jordan's this, Jordan's that. And you know, for me, I feel like they both were playing the oppression Olympics, right? They were trying to, you know, who can victim the most, right? Because Summer feels so, you know, I can't speak up, I can't say my feelings, I can't do this. She's always angry, she's always this. And when it's Jordan's like, you know, she's confused. She's just like, oh, I don't get it. But Jordan's upset because Summer basically said, you know, earlier in the episode, she talked about this moment that she had about her hair falling out. And she was like, look, I was there for her during that moment. And this is what I get.
Hours ago, you were crying in the bathroom when I held you. Even these moments are used against me. Like, they're not, but they are.
You know, I obviously care for her. So Shanice and I think Preston tells Jordan. So now Jordan feels some type of way, like, you know, she took this vulnerable moment and, you know, told the house. I get both sides. I don't feel like, you know, Summer did it to be malicious. However, I mean, it happened at this point, right? Yeah, the next morning, you have some people going to church. You have people going to church. You have Jordan and I think Summer still walking around like, you know, not really trying to talk, just trying to be, it's very awkward at this point, right? I think something that really popped up that I really enjoyed watching was Noelle talking to her mother. Noelle was basically telling her mom, like, look, Ma, like, there's a guy that I was over here feeling, and I feel like I put my heart out there, and, you know, I feel like I look dumb.
Well, then I would just be done with him. Yeah, I just hate that I feel like I revealed my hand, Mom. Because I'm not like that. I'm not no crazy bitch. I'm not.
To be honest, did she look dumb a little bit? She did. However, the way that she talked about her story about, you know, I felt like I was abandoned. Like, at the pool, she even talked about it with, I think, Summer. Like, you know, I feel like I was, like, you know, abandoned, and, you know, it brings her back to her dad. However, that has nothing to do with really Alex. Alex can't really take on that weight. However, that's just the triggers that, you know, made her go back to that feeling, right? So my whole thing with Noelle is I like the fact that she opened up, and the fact that her mom was, like, she vented to her mom, and her mom basically ground her and just let her know, like, look, at the end of the day, never let someone else control your emotions and make you feel less than. You know who you are, regardless of if you like you or not. Your self-worth is not off of the opinions of others. Your self-worth is just that, self.
Well, this crying, you're human, okay? Don't let people dictate to you who you are. Thank you.
So we see throughout the day that everybody's over here getting ready for Bria's world. You know, they over here have like llamas, they have like food outside, everything is really nice. It really wasn't like a big moment. Like, if they had more people, it would have been better. I wish they would have invited more people to the house, like how they did with the little neon party. Then it would have been like, okay, this is cool. You got cotton candy, you got llamas from down the street, you got, you know, popcorn machines. Like, it could have really been something really nice. So hopefully next year they can invest more into like inviting more people or outsiders into the house, because I feel like that'd be a bigger and better dynamic. Also, you know, We see the house getting ready for, you know, dinner. Everybody's cooking food. And I like the fact that everybody can get together and, like, you know, have this solidarity. So we find out from Miss Cooper, Jasmine, that she is expecting, she is pregnant, and she's trying to hide it from the house. I don't know how they didn't notice it. I mean, when she did go to church, she did have that pilgrim dress on, so I mean, but you know, she's expecting and she's just trying to figure out how to reveal it to the house.
Silas and I are expecting.
Mind you, she's having this whole conversation with that man, her husband, Silas, on the phone. Now, being that he's on the phone, I can stomach him because he's on the phone. He's not in the house. So hopefully him watching, because I feel like he might come back next season. Hopefully him watching himself on TV, hopefully it'll make him realize, like, oh, maybe I should change some things. Let's hope. Because having a baby with somebody like that, girl, choices. choices. It was a lot of people having a lot of conversations. Summer, I think it was before the dinner, Summer and Jordan had a conversation, and this is where I'm gonna get a little frustrated, because Summer pulled Jordan to the side and let her know, like, hey, you know, I know you feel some type of way. Let's talk.
I just didn't understand why a really private moment, whether you share the details or not, was even being brought up.
So Jordan let Summer know, I feel like you violated our, you know, a tender moment that we had of privacy, and you know went against my trust. I opened up to you about something that's very personal, and you told people, even if it was something small, even if it wasn't the full context of the conversation, you still told some of it, and it really made me feel some type of way. Like, should I talk to you? Can I go to her? Can I talk to her? So she was like, I feel some type of way about that, and it broke my trust ultimately, right?
I do feel like you sharing that was a violation. There are times last night where, like, your tone towards me felt very, like, belittling.
My whole thing with Summer, when Jordan asked, what have I done? Why are you upset? And all Summer said was, well, you know, you get angry a lot. And I just feel like sometimes when you get angry, it's a lot. And I'm just like, Summer, but that's not what you were saying the other night, though.
Jordan is so defensive all the time because I gotta show the up for her every single moment. I shouldn't have to ask you to talk to me right. I shouldn't have to ask for respect.
Because what you were saying the other night was, oh, Jordan is rude, she's selfish, she's this and the third. Like, you were going on and on and on and on. And this is why I'm getting irritated, because how are you going to pull her aside to have a conversation, but you're not contributing really to the conversation? It's like Jordan sat there and told you exactly how she felt. You didn't do that. You said, you know, the context of the conversation, but you did not go into details of why you're upset. Because just saying that she's angry, all y'all get angry. It's a human emotion. So it's like, there has to be something more to it. Like, you could have said, Jordan, one thing I don't like is when I'm having a conversation with someone else, you interject and it makes me feel like you're trying to attack me or you're trying to criticize my comment when I'm saying something. Or you could have said, when I was over here talking to Jasmine, or the night that we all went out for seafood, you interjected and cut me off in my conversation, not only once, but twice. And I felt like that was very triggering for me. And I felt like I couldn't really exacerbate my thought.
Yeah, then I'm sorry for that. The private moments should stay private. Which I probably have a problem with, apparently, but I don't want you to feel like you can't come to me.
But what she said didn't make no fucking sense. I was just like, and I felt like Jordan knew, just the way they ended the conversation, could have, like, you know, we're good, but I just know that, you know, maybe I have to think about what I'm gonna tell her. But I feel like Jordan knew that there was more to the convo. At the end of the episode, you know, they all go out for like to a restaurant for food, right? So everybody's eating, and you know, Alex, he's been peeping this throughout this whole thing, right? Alex has said, like, you know, Jordan, I feel like you're very quiet. And she was like, in what point, like, what way? He was like, I feel like, you know, you're not really talking, you know, you have a strong presence, and every time you say something, it has weight.
What in particular?
I don't feel like you're as involved as I remember you being.
And like he's like, every time you say something, it has weight, it has value. My whole thing is this: y'all put that weight and value on her words. That's what y'all do. She does not do that. She might talk and you just gradually, you know, gravitate to what she's saying, but that's you putting that onto her, right? But she basically opens up and says, like, you know what, because, you know, Summer asked, like, okay, what's really going on? So Jordan opens up and she said, you know what, when I was younger, my mom passed away when I was young, and I basically, you know, take care of her parents, and I had to grow up fast. She was like, I didn't have a normal, you know, teenage years.
I was 17 when my mom passed away. I inherited her parents. I'm an only child. My mother was an only child. I think that's why I feel so far behind.
I don't think not many of you know. I went to college not only once but twice. The first time I went to college, it really wasn't something I wanted to do. However, I had to take off time from school because I came home and I took care of my grandma and my aunt to help her bounce back on her feet. So I left college my junior year and I went back to North Carolina, and I stayed with my grandma for almost four years, but I went just back to school within that 2 years. But I stayed with my grandma for 4 years and help her get back on her feet and help her bounce back. And even though that was it was a selfless act that I have done, however, though I realized personally that I did set myself back personally, and it really made me feel some type of way about myself, because even though I do have 2 degrees on my wall, it's one of those things where I do feel like I could have been successful, or I could have achieved the same thing I've achieved faster. But you know, with therapy and talking with family, I realized that, you know, God's timing, things happen for a reason, right? So I'm just happy that I went home and, you know, helped my grandma out. So I definitely feel that connection with Jordan on that aspect, because I personally do feel like, you know, there's a lot of, I didn't party, I didn't like have the like college experience the first time around, and I definitely felt like, you know, a little bit like catching up to do. So Jordan ultimately talks about how she is losing her hair, and she was like, you know, our hair is our currency, and you know, this is something that is just like really hard. And she starts crying, and it's we already know how it is about people losing their hair. Like, it's very emotional.
It's a big thing. I don't know what's going on with me, if I'm okay. I don't know.
Alex, he's like, you know, Jordan, this is like the first time I feel like I know exactly who you are, and more than I did, you know, last year, because I know who you were. I see the real you now, which is like a backhanded compliment, because like, bitch, what? So she snapped out of it, just like, whoa. And she was just like, okay, I don't agree, because one thing, you got me fucked up, because I was ready to over here knock you out, because you over here came from my friend. And I'm just like, oh. She's like, you a real want to be gangster. I'm like,
oh. You didn't understand me because you had my friend up, and I was ready to kick your ass if we're gonna keep it gangster.
Where does it come from? It was such a quick shift. So he was like, what? And she was like, yeah, the way you over here came for Shanice, I don't like that. So that segues over to Shanice talking about her whole restraining order situation with the other guy, the actor guy, right? So she basically tells Alex that, you know, you traumatized me by bringing that up. And he throws it off on Nick. Nick throws it off on Jasmine.
Me, you, Bria. But let's on the side room. Hold on a second. But Jasmine, to be fair, you were like, let's talk about it.
But we find out that, you know, the court case was dropped. The evidence, I mean, there was not substantial evidence. So obviously Shanice was vindicated. However, she's saying that she felt traumatized. Alex is like, I'm not going to put that weight on me because, you know, I wasn't the one that brought it up. Woo, woo, woo. My whole thing is this. It's not that about who brought it up. It's that you use that information and weaponize it against her by saying, I don't want to pursue anything further with her because I heard that she's a stalker.
Before I met Shanice last summer, I got news that her ex had accused her of stalking him. There's articles out there about how she is a stalker.
You said it on camera, nobody else. So my whole thing was, you judged her before you even got to know her last season. And that's why I personally feel like she felt triggered, right? But like I say, they mended things. She hugged him. She gave the fuckboy a hug. So I guess Bria wants to get up and start talking, right? So Bria's like, look, I don't feel comfortable with Mariah coming. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable with Mariah coming.
A lot. And it's gonna be completely honest, I don't feel comfortable with Mariah coming in the house.
Mind you, she was talking about this in the kitchen earlier in the episode. My whole thing is this. This whole situation is not even about Mariah. Nothing that Mariah did really. It's not, because she was cool with Mariah coming beforehand. The whole situation is Bria's being vindictive because the ticket was already booked before Jasmine asked. And my whole thing is, I don't know how they're going about asking people if you're going to come or not. Ooh, I don't know that. My whole thing is Mariah, and I'm happy that Jasmine said something, but it's like Mariah hasn't done anything that Summer didn't do. And I'm not about to rehash it because I already talked about it in my last episode, right? But Mariah hasn't did anything that Summer didn't do worse by bopping you upside your head. And I'm happy that Jasmine said that.
Oh, I wouldn't allow anybody to put hands on anybody in this house. And if I was to invite them back, it would be a problem. But you're good with Summer.
Jasmine was like, okay, but didn't Summer do the same thing? And Bria, I feel like this is why I don't connect with Bria, nor do I like Bria's character on the show, is the fact that she is a habitual victim and she wants to be, everybody's doing something to me. You're doing something to me. Her personality type is not a personality type that I will ever get along with. I don't like her character on the show. I don't know her outside the show. But on the show, I don't like her. I don't like her character on the show. It just seems very much as selfish, egotistical, and she has bouts of, caringness, and she has roots of being a good friend. But all in all, she's a bitch.
I'm in Summer. I didn't need no BS. I just needed fun and support. I am going through a lot right now.
Period. And I just can't see myself like connecting with someone like Bria. Now, do I think she's great for the show? Hell yeah, she's great for the show. But there's nothing that Bria can say that says, oh, Mariah can't come back. Because my whole thing is, if Mariah can't come back, Summer should never came back. Summer actually beat you up. But I feel like her whole thing is like, well, me and Summer talk. Okay, but you and Mariah can have a whole conversation too. So it's just weird. It's just weird. And Jasmine started crying. She's just like, look, I'm going through a lot. I don't have time for all of this. I really don't. My whole thing is, I wish Jasmine would have spoke up more, but it's just that she's pregnant. She's just emotional. We get it. So hopefully, like, next episode, she actually gets a chance to express her feelings. Because right now, it just seems very much, she's just confused. She's just drained. Because it's just like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it's not a concrete yes or no. But at this point, if I was Jasmine, I'm like, okay, I understand you're saying that, but the ticket's booking. I'm not reneging on it. Sorry. Case closed. But y'all, let me know what you guys think. Do you think Alex is wrong in the situation with Jordan? Do you think Jordan is valid with the way that she went about going after Alex? But y'all, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Next video will be Potomac.
Brian Keith, LG, Black View. Bet you didn't know we the Holy Trinity. Now let a God stop a y'all and break your head here. Step into the room and get up in the bed. It tastes sweet, that's cause I'm good. It tastes sour cause I'm better than the hood. Cause I get you hyper when I'm running all around cause I excite ya. Let me talk real quick. You can't even get with the shit. You wanna go toe to toe with my flow? This Sour Candy all I really asking for.